Everybody, Happy New Year to everyone, and welcome to the first City Council meeting of 2020. Suzanne, shall we start with the roll call?
Yes, thank you. Mayor Levy.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Carr.
Here.
Councilmember Case.
I'm here.
Councilmember Labar.
Here.
Councilmember Nacarado.
Present.
Councilmember Saunier is absent, and Councilmember Sawyer.
Here.
Thank you.
Great, thanks very much. If you all join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do that right now. Okay, I'm going to stick one thing in that's not on the agenda and turn this over to our Chief, Miles DeYoung.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Council and audience. This evening, we've got the pleasure of introducing two of our new police officers. I told them it would be fairly quick and painless, but if I get them both to come up to the podium. So, as you're well aware, over the last year we've lost about 7 officers, and with these 2 officers coming on, we're down to just 1 officer left to fill a vacancy. We're looking for a lateral officer. So, I wanted to introduce the 2 of them to you. This is Darren Rivera Trailer. I was using the mixed up. And if you just want to talk a little bit about yourself, you came from the Veterans and Local Government Program that our city manager runs. He was also the cadet commander down there at the academy. And you came from the military.
I did. So, good evening, everybody. Again, my name is Darren Trailer Rivera, and I was in the military. Had a great opportunity doing an internship, thanks to Darren, and I'm pursuing what I want to do for the rest of my life. So, and it's good to be working with them. So, thank you very much.
We also have Courtney Wadham. She loves public speaking. She was fortunate as one of our dispatchers to be brought on board. She's going to be working with Sally Riley, and she will be helping out with the code enforcement department and helping us get in compliance and taking care of some issues with them. She's also a William Park School graduate.
Yeah.
And a little bit about you. You started in dispatch.
I did. I'm Courtney Wadham. I started in dispatch, came over from Teller County Child Protection, went over to dispatch and was given the opportunity. I want to thank the city and chief for allowing me the opportunity to go down to the academy, be sponsored down there. Sally, thank you. And I'm in FTO right now and really excited to be coming up to work with Sally.
And that's all I have unless council has questions.
No, we're just very appreciative. Thanks very much, and you've joined a great team. I'm sure you'll enjoy your stay, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Move on to agenda item number 3 and appointments to various committees, and Suzanne's going to lead us through this.
Thank you, Mayor Levy. Council, as Council's aware, every year we, in January, appoint to various boards and committees for terms that have expired. This year we have appointments for the Board of Adjustment, Board of Review, Historical Preservation Committee, and the Planning Commission. I know Council has received all of the applications for all the individuals, and we'd like to take these one at a time. So we would like to start with the Board of Adjustment. With the Board of Adjustment, we have members that are applying for reappointment are Lou Ramone, Jerry Smith, and Jim Rumsey. Catherine Nakai is here also this evening, and she is applying as, instead of an alternate member, to a regular member position. So Jerry Smith wants to switch to an alternate member. So it's no change. It's Catherine going to permanent member, Jerry going to alternate. But all 4 of those are incumbents. And in the audience tonight, I know Lou is here, Jim Rumsey's here, and Catherine is here. Jerry Smith is not here. If you have any questions, they're available for any questions that you may have.
Council? No questions. I'll make a comment. You guys have done some incredible work the last couple of months. Tough, positions, and I know you've had a lot of pushback, and you've just kept your head to the grindstone and done what you think is right, and so we have a lot of respect for that because we fall into that same boat all the time. But thanks for your hard work, and it's much appreciated. Council, if someone wants to make a motion to include what Susanna said, we can take care of this all at the same time.
If council needs help with the motion, I can assist.
Please.
Okay, so
Once you say it, and then we'll say, as you said.
Okay, the motion would be to appoint Lou Ramone, Jim Rumsey, Catherine Nakai as permanent members of the Board of Adjustment, and Jerry Smith as the alternate member.
And Catherine's an alternate now, correct?
Correct.
Okay, great.
So moved. Second.
There you go.
That's not right.
Oh, okay, we're going to make it right.
No, that's okay.
I'm sorry. Jerry Smith would be the alternate.
Correct.
Jim Rumsey is the new person to our community that
Okay.
is also an alternate. And Catherine Nakai would move to a permanent position, regular position.
Thanks for that clarification, Sally. So 2 alternates, 2 regular members. So let's repeat that then. The 2 alternates would be Jerry Smith and
Jim
Rumsey, and the 2 permanents would be Lou Ramone and Catherine Nakai.
Correct.
Thank you.
Great, thanks, Sally. We have a motion and a second.
I'm sorry, who was the second? I didn't hear. No, thank you.
As
Carr?
restated, I might add.
As restated.
Thank you. Carr,
Yes.
Case,
Yes.
Labar,
Yes.
Levy,
Yes.
Nacarado,
Yes.
Sawyer.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Okay, now we'll move on to the Board of Review. And I hope I can get this right, Sally. Here on the Board of Review, we have members applying for reappointment: Mac McVicker, Derek Carpenter, Jeff Cahill, and Steve McCann. Correct? Yes. Okay. They are all regular members. The terms on this committee are 3 years in length, and their term will end January 1st, 2023. This is one of the committees that requires council to know the attendance. There was, 2 meetings for the Board of Review in 2019. Mac McVicker attended 2 meetings. Derek Carpenter attended 2 meetings. Jeff Cahill attended 2 meetings, and Steve McCann attended 0 meetings. In the audience this evening, I know I've seen Mac and I've seen Jeff. Have I missed Derek or Steve? Nope. Okay, so we have Jeff and Mac in the audience with us this evening.
Council, I know you're thinking the same thing I am.
Yes.
More times than not, we sit here with 3 people for 3 positions, and we automatically approve them because they've been part of the process, or for whatever reason, to try to fill those spaces. Personally, I can't be supportive of Steve McCann if he didn't go to any meeting this year, and I'm sure there's reasons why. What's the downside of only having 3 instead of 4 appointed today?
Sally?
I'd also ask if there are reasons, or if there's anyone that knows the reasons why he wasn't able to attend either meeting during the year.
Or this meeting?
Or this meeting, yes.
There were only 2 meetings held for the entire year. Steve McCann runs a business. He's an electrician, and that is the reason why we have alternates on this committee. There are 5 regular members and 2 alternates.
so that there's hopefully always a full component. He's a busy man, but he is a good person to be on the committee because of his expertise that he has. We can advertise and try to replace them, but the Board of Review has a very building-oriented specialty, and it's helpful to have the experts on that board.
No?
Because he's an electrician, are there situations where the group will work over email to look at issues?
No, sir. These are public hearings, so they are quasi-judicial cases for variances, usually to the building code. So it is not an email-driven type committee.
Okay, so he needs to be there.
He does.
Kelly?
So there are 2 alternates, though.
There are, yes.
And is there another electrician in
No.
the alternates?
There is not.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, if he's not there, it don't matter.
Yeah, I'm in a situation where I would propose that we take Mac McVicker, Derek Carpenter, and Jeff Cahill for this particular one, because we don't need absent, no matter what their expertise.
Well, to what Sally said, the best ability, right, is availability. And I'm not at either meeting and not here today to defend himself at all. I get being busy. We're all busy. But I just can't support it. So we could make a motion to include or not include and vote on it. You want to do that, Val?
I would make a motion to fill 3 of the available positions on the Board of Review with Mac McVicker, Derek Carpenter, and Jeff Cahill this time.
Second.
And a second.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask, could we hear from the chair of the committee if that person is here or one of the committee members, and if there's any insight to help us with Mr. McCann?
Matt, thank you. We got a spot just for you.
Good evening, Mac McVicker, Chairman of the Board of Review. The 2 cases we had in 2019 did not involve any electrical issues. They were structural issues. And I do not know why Steve was unable to make it. He has been pretty good in the past, over the last 3 years, about making a lot of our meetings when there was no electrical issues. But that's all I can add to this.
Thank you.
Anyone else, council? One question, I guess. Yeah, we got a motion and a second, Suzanne.
Thank you. Case?
Yes.
Labar?
Yes.
Levy?
Yes.
Nacarado?
Yes.
Sawyer?
Yes.
Carr?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries 6-0. Moving on to the Historical Preservation Committee, we have members applying for reappointment are Lori Gloth and David Langley, and we also had a new application from former Councilwoman Carol Harvey. The terms on the committee are 2 years in length. They will end January 1st, 2022. This committee held 9 meetings during 2019. Lori Gloth attended 9 meetings. David Langley attended 6 meetings.
Sounds good, council.
And just to remind council that Carol was on Historical Preservation the majority of the time she was on council.
Correct.
So
And
she's
neither
well aware of everything.
correct. And none of them could be present this evening.
David's here.
Oh, I didn't see you sneak in. I'm sorry, David. David's here. I know him so well, too.
Check in with Suzanne next time, would you, David? Okay,
Didn't have him.
council? Comments, questions?
I think all 3 would
Be amazing.
be amazing to stay there.
I agree.
I'll move to approve as presented by the clerk.
Second.
Suzanne?
Labar,
Yes.
Levy,
Yes.
Nacarado,
Yes.
Sawyer,
Yes.
Carr,
Yes.
Case.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries 6-0. And then finally, we have the Planning Commission. And the members applying for reappointment are John DeVoe and Vicki Good, and a new application from Larry Larson, which I know council's familiar with from other committees that Larry has served on. The terms on this commission are 2 years in length, and they will end on January 1st, 2023. 22, this is,
It
yeah.
says 2023.
It should be 22.
3
3
years
year?
is 2023? Just checking my math.
This particular commission held 11 meetings during 2019. John DeVoe attended 11 meetings, Vicki Good attended 11 meetings, and I know Vicki Good and Larry Larson are in the audience with us this evening.
Sounds good. First, I'd like to thank Vicki, 11 out of 11, that's what we're looking for. So clearly you're vested and you have a great interest in what you're doing. So that comes much appreciated. Larry's been around a long time doing all kinds of stuff for the community. So I think we all know him and the value to our community. And Mr. DeVoe seems like he's always sitting in a seat somewhere, working hard. So I'll make the motion to approve all three.
Second.
Thank you. Levy,
Yes.
Nacarado,
Yes.
Sawyer,
Yes.
Carr,
Yes.
Case,
Yes.
Labar.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Mayor,
Council,
if I can have the pleasure of giving the oaths of office?
I'd like to swear. Let's do
Okay.
it.
I'd like to call everybody that was appointed this evening up to the front here.
All at once.
I'm going to have Chris get everyone to sign them. It doesn't take time.
We're good, Suzanne.
Okay, so what I would like is for you to face the audience and Norma and Bob. They'd like to take pictures. Yeah, so if we can all face this way. I'm sorry, you smell.
Oh, we can. Is he here?
Okay, so if you could all raise your right hands, please.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, let's do.
state your name. I
And maybe B
Well,
too.
here's the reality. We're going to be there in 15 minutes anyway.
do solemnly
But we can
swear
move it up.
that I will support
B
the
as well?
Constitution of the United States
We're going to do one, we should do them both, but it's a public hearing.
and of the state of Colorado. The charter and ordinances. Of the city of Woodland Park. And that I will faithfully perform the duties.
I'm just going to sit
Of the
outside.
member of, if you can just state your name.
That's everything. The only other thing is it's just the mission. Of course, we'll be there in 15 minutes.
Upon which I'm about to enter.
It's not like our usual
Congratulations.
press conference.
Thank you. And we'll
We'll be there
have,
20 to 8.
Chris is going to get you to sign your oaths of office and you can do your copy. Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
That was a cluster.
So it'll only be 10 minutes. We're going to take all ordinances on initial posting. No, I know. I would do well moving
It's just, it's as good as what I get, you know?
This guy doesn't have to. But the next, we're going to do
Yeah.
all.
I didn't type this. I was in here.
Two other things that took 20 minutes.
Don't say it.
I know as soon as I say something. How's that Darren? He sounds outstanding. Darren, he seems like he's just great. Darren? Yeah. How'd you get in? How'd you get in? Oh my God.
Not great.
I mean, it takes 1 minute
What?
to figure him out.
No.
He's got his shit together.
You know what I mean? I get emotional. So,
Really? Oh, the guy is?
He just retired.
So it's getting harder.
Yeah, it won't take him long. So he stays around.
No, I'm just going to do the
Darren
underline.
looks pretty
I'm just going to do
solid.
the synopsis.
That was good. Good catch.
Yeah, I'm going to read it real quick. Yeah, I already cleared it with these folks. We're all self-reliant.
Just reply.
Okay.
Oh, that was yours? Yeah.
So I had her do it because I thought we would just keep going with the meeting.
Thank you.
But otherwise, I would have done it, had them sign it. You know what I mean? I was doing it just to try and save time.
Okay, before you leave, Larry, let's let everybody, he's trying to leave. Before you leave, let's let everybody give you guys a round of applause. Thank you very much. Okay, now you can go, Larry. See ya. And David. Okay, we move on to agenda item number 4. We have no additions or deletions or corrections today. And number 5, the consent calendar. Suzanne.
Mayor Levy, I do have a couple of minor corrections to the consent calendar. The first, item A, we need to pull off tonight. The minutes were not ready for approval, so they will be brought to you on the January 16th council meeting, so we will not be approving that this evening. I did have something to add, and I left it on the dais for each of you, and it was just to approve. Every year, we have a hockey tournament, and every year the council, because our code says no alcohol in the park, the council has to approve this to take place, to allow them to do it. It's been 6 years that we've been having this tournament. The tournament's to be held January 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and we have had no issues in all 6 years. So it's on the consent calendar as part of just a routine approval.
None of the hockey players I know. I can tell you that.
So therefore, tonight we have the November 2019 Statement of Expenditures for approval and permission for alcohol to be served at Meadowood Sports Complex as requested by Landis Siebold from the Woodland Park Hockey Association.
Thank you. Thanks, Landis. Okay. Council? Any questions, concerns?
Are we voting all these as one?
Just 2.
Just 2.
Statement of expenditures and the permission, the alcohol permission.
Okay. May I just ask a question?
Please.
Because I'm new.
Even if you're not.
These expenditures are all November expenditures, so I'm assuming they've already been paid.
Correct.
So why are we now approving them?
I think it's a charter requirement.
He was hoping we didn't notice. It's required by the code.
Oh, I understand, but it seems...
Why?
And we wouldn't have the list until after the month ends, so.
Till everybody's paid, you wouldn't have the list, right?
Right.
Yeah, but you would have a voucher. You would have them vouched, right? For payment?
Yes, and it goes through signatures and review for each item, but staff review.
Seems like a strange formality, and I understand the charter requires it, but to approve them after the fact seems...
Maybe we should have made that a charter amendment.
Took the word.
You're not the first one who's asked that exact same question.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm not crazy.
It's been this way forever.
Good question.
Next time.
Everything was going so well.
Okay,
It's something we can work on.
so I need a motion to approve.
I will move to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Second.
And a second. Suzanne?
Thank you. Nacarado,
Yes.
Sawyer,
Yes.
Carr,
Yes.
Case,
Yes.
Labar,
Yes.
Levy.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you, Suzanne. I have nobody signed up for public comment on items not on the agenda. If there's anybody here that would like to speak at this time, this is your opportunity. Okay, we will move on. Ordinances on initial posting, and Suzanne, here you go again.
So, Mayor, as you said, this is just for initial posting, and council is aware that every year, the clerk's office has to announce the official form of publication for all of our public notices. From years back, we started where everything was in the newspaper, and we've gradually moved to where just title-onlys are in the newspaper, and the whole ordinance has been published on the website. We would like to, the clerk's office, amongst many, many other clerk's offices throughout the state, we would like to move to where we just publish now on the city website. Not only is it a cost savings, but it's also a help to us with time constraints. As you may recall, a couple of times, if I don't get something into the paper, then we can't get it on the agenda, it can't get approved, and it really limits us with time because the paper comes out once a week, and I have to have the items to them the week prior, so technically 2 weeks before a council meeting. So we're just asking that we publish on the city website, and we would advertise it on Facebook, city website, any way you council would desire, and not continue to publish in the paper any longer.
Approximate cost savings?
We spend about $400 to $500 a month on publications.
Sorry. My suggestion is to timestamp those so that when you update them, people know which version they're looking at. Please. Just a request.
Anything else? This is on initial
Is there a
post.
requirement in the code or in the charter for that, though?
The charter just says we have to declare the publication.
Oh, that's it. Okay, thank you.
So that's what I'm doing this evening. Well, tonight's just initial posting, but every year I come to council and I ask them to declare what method we'd like to use. And this year I'm asking that we declare the website and social media. Yes, yes.
Excellent.
Nice. Thanks, Suzanne.
And what I would like to do, I spoke to the mayor and Mayor Pro Tem this morning. Next council meeting, when it's on public hearing, I'd like to bring you an example that I can put up on the screen so you would see what the publication would look like in the future on the website and Facebook.
Council, questions? Motion to approve ordinance number 1363 on initial posting.
So moved.
Second.
And second, Suzanne?
Sawyer?
Yes.
Carr?
Yes.
Case?
Yes.
Labar?
Yes.
Levy?
Yes.
Nacarado?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries 6-0.
Before we go forward, generally, we wouldn't take public comment on initial posting, but especially for the next 11 items, please, if you have questions, concerns, 2 weeks from today will be the day that those kinds of concerns can be brought forward. Just so everyone knows, I'm not trying to ignore anybody. This is just not the time. So that said, I'm going to move on to Mayor Pro Tem Carr.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The next 11 items on the initial posting calendar are charter amendments coming through the Charter Review Committee. We had a work session beforehand with City Council, and these are being proposed for the April 7th, 2020 election. So I'm just going to mention a summary of them because they're not labeled with official numbers yet, but the subject. The first one is to create a stipend for City Council member service. The second one, in no particular order, by the way, is removal criteria for boards and commissions and create term limits. The third one under consideration is remove all current gender-specific terminology, phrases, or words. The next one is remove penalties for violations of the charter. Next one is align the completion date for the annual audit date to the current state statute. Next one is clarify the department employment responsibilities of the chief of police. Next one is to have the clerk of the municipal court report directly to the city manager instead of city council. Next one is use state standards for qualifications of elected, appointed officials. The next one is remove the Personnel Merit Board and set public hearing. The next one is remove charter-specific budget process to ordinances, simplifying the charter with the budget process. The next one is increasing the number of signatures required for a citizen initiative to change the charter. And all 11 of those items will be set to public hearing for January 16, 2020 also.
You said in no particular order. Is this not the order that we?
Oh, I kept saying 1, 2, 3
Oh,
instead of A, B, C, or whatever. I
So,
apologize.
Council, I hope we're in agreement that at this point,
Yeah.
if it passes, we're going to go with this order on the ballot. Is that correct?
Yeah, I just didn't want to.
Okay, just making sure.
If people were looking at the agenda, I was saying 1, 2, and 3, and it's really B, C, D, and all that kind of stuff. I apologize.
No problem. Council, we can get a motion. We can set this for the public hearing on January 16th.
So moved.
Second.
Suzanne?
Mr. Mayor, may I make a comment,
I'm
please?
sorry, yes.
I will not be in attendance at the January 16th meeting, and so I'd just like to make my comments now for the public hearing. I'm in support of all of the recommended ordinances except the first one with regards to the stipend for City Council. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Anyone else before we vote? Suzanne?
Thank you. Sawyer?
Yes.
Carr?
Yes.
Case?
Yes.
Labar?
Yes.
Levy?
Yes.
Nacarado?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you, and I want to thank Val for leading this process, which is a little tedious sometimes, and Councilmember Labar and Councilmember Case and I and a number of Noel, just about everybody had their finger in this pie a little bit, not to mention volunteers from the community. So much appreciated. I think we possibly have some great charter amendments that will make things a little easier for all of us. So that's the goal.
Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Nacarado was also part of the committee, just to be...
I appreciate it.
I just don't
and
want
I
you
knew
leaving
that, but
anybody out.
He's
You
so
got in
new.
trouble last time.
I'm just shiny and new, but I actually served as a citizen
Yes.
and then was appointed to council, so I served in both capacities on the committee.
You're still a citizen.
I'm still a citizen.
Just very briefly, Mr. Mayor, Bob Carlson, Stephanie Alfieri, and Catherine Perry were also wonderful contributors to this committee. I thank them all for their service.
Thank you, Val. Okay, we will move on to public hearings.
I'm going to give that to you, Mayor. I have it right
Thank
here.
you very much. I should know it by now.
There you go.
Sorry, thanks. Council members use electronic devices to access the materials relevant to the public hearing before us. Be assured that it is the common practice of this city council that these devices are not being used for texting, for emailing, or other communication during these public hearings. That said, Chrissy Stapleford and approved
Reason.
liquor license.
It's Reason,
New name.
not Stapleford.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I
was
ditched that
wrong
one.
on I should know, but I did. Chris, I should introduce you. Chrissy Reason.
All right, tonight we have a hotel and restaurant liquor license application for Judge's Char Grill. Previously, there was just a beer and wine license, so they didn't end up transferring that. We're doing a completely new license to do the hotel and restaurant so that they can have a full bar, just so that you know. All right, so our applicant is Shaddy Inc., which is DBA Judge's Char Grill, and we are doing a public hearing to grant a hotel and restaurant liquor license located at 108 East Midland Avenue. The applicant has current sales tax license. They're eligible to apply for a license. The location is eligible to be licensed. The owner, Fernando, is here to answer any questions, if you guys have any. The application was submitted on November 1st, and the property was posted on December 20th. Public notice was published in the Pikes Peak Courier,
character of the applicant is not an issue for this hearing. Operation of the business is in compliance with local zoning, building, and fire regulations. All applicable fees have been paid, and a petition providing the needs and desires of the neighborhood containing the signatures of residents in support of granting the license. So following the public hearing, we request that you approve the liquor license for a hotel and restaurant. Any questions?
Any questions for Chrissy? And we'll speak with the owner afterwards. No questions. Young man, come on up. If you'll just give us your name and where you live.
Yeah, hello. Good evening. My name is Fernando Morales, and my wife and I, we own George's Char Grill, and we live here in Woodland Park. We have 2 children. They go to the school here in Woodland Park as well. So.
Great. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
How long have you owned the restaurant now?
Excuse me?
How long have you owned the restaurant?
We bought it March 2018. And
2018 in March.
19, sorry.
19.
And, yep.
Excellent.
No, you have a question?
I don't have a question. I have a comment. Great restaurant. It looks like you're doing very well. Love the food.
Thank you so much.
It seems like you're very successful at what you do.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I don't know why I say this, but are you going to be serving margaritas?
Yes, sir.
just check it.
That was my question.
That's a good answer.
What did you say, yes?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Anything else for the applicant?
I know your wife Anna and from her previous work, and I really appreciate that you brought this restaurant up to the community and up to standards, and you're doing a great job. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Okay, council. If everyone is satisfied,
Move to
we'll
approve.
let me go to the public first, and then we'll do that. If anyone from the audience has any comment, this would be your opportunity. Okay, if not, need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve liquor application for the Shadi Incorporated DBA Judge's Char and Grill for hotel and restaurant liquor license located at 108 East Midland Avenue.
I'll second.
And a second.
Thank you. Carr?
Yes.
Case?
Yes.
LeVar?
Yes.
Levy?
Yes.
Nacarado?
Yes.
Sawyer?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. Good luck to you, young man. Good luck. Okay, we move on to agenda item 9B. Sally Riley.
Thank you, Mayor Levy, council members. Item 9B is ordinance 1362. This is a vacation of a portion of a 5-foot utility easement, which is located on both lots 6R and 7R of Evergreen Heights subdivision filing 3A, is requested by James and Sherry Charlene, who are the owners of 1365 Crestview Way, and Vicki Alexander, who is the owner of 1360 Crestview Way. The purpose of this request is in order for Vicki Alexander to realign her driveway and construct walls, retaining walls within, right next to the property lines, and the subdivision does not allow for structures to be placed in the easements. We have routed this to all the utility companies. They have no problem with this vacation, as well as our own Public Works Department. And so with that, we would request that council move to approve ordinance 1362 based upon the findings in the staff report and the public hearing. Ms. Alexander is here this evening and is able to answer any other further questions about the request. Thank you.
Questions for Sally? Questions for Sally? Okay, Ms. Alexander, if you'd like to come forward. I don't know, do we have any questions for the applicant? It's pretty cut and dried, I think. If you'd like to say a few words.
Vicki Alexander, 1360 Crestview Way. I just would appreciate it if you could approve it. The driveway in its current condition is very unsafe. 2 people have gone off the driveway this week. A furniture van could not get up the driveway today. And the driveway is encroaching on the Shalene's. So I really need to build new retaining walls and reroute the driveway to make it safe. In addition, there's a blind entrance and exit. You don't even know when you start up the driveway what you're going to encounter once you get in by the garages. So.
Sounds good. Questions, council? Anybody in the audience like to make comment? Okay, if not, we just need a motion to approve ordinance number 1362.
Motion to approve ordinance 1362 as presented.
Second.
Thank you. Suzanne?
Case?
Yes.
Labar?
Yes.
Levy?
Yes.
Nacarado?
Yes.
Sawyer?
Yes.
Carr?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries 6-0.
Okay, thank you, Suzanne. Move on to new business. You going to take this, Darren?
Sure.
What are we going to do?
Sure. In terms of new business?
Yeah, on the draft ordinance for the capital debt account.
Well,
or are we going to?
Did we bring that with us today? Are you ready, prepared to talk about it?
I've got the draft.
Yeah.
What would you like to do? Because I didn't prepare.
We intended to have Jason.
Yeah.
You guys know Jason's sick tonight.
Is there any time restraint on this?
No, we've discussed in the work session in terms of what City Council wants. We've presented some options for you. Jason, we wanted Jason here to answer specific questions for you tonight. If you want to wait until the 17th, we can do that then, or we can move forward with bringing that ordinance to the first reading of that ordinance to the next meeting. If you feel, I believe, would be the intent.
So all we would do today is decide to bring the draft forward.
Based on the criteria that I believe was in the packet that if you're okay with that, we would bring that draft ordinance to
That's
the
what we asked
next
for
meeting.
anyway.
I'm good with it.
Unless you have any opposition to what was provided.
Do you need consensus?
Yes, please.
I think you just got it.
Okay.
So we'll do an initial posting on the January
16th.
16th. Okay. Thank you.
Terrific. And thank you. That's something that council has asked for, so that's great. Okay, move on to reports. Mayor's report. I have one announcement of an event, and that's Thursday, January 9th, Chamber Lunch and Learn. Sales tax changes at the UPass Cultural Center. It's actually sales tax changes, and it happens to be at the UPass Cultural Center. I don't think we're changing anything there. But that said, I want to congratulate just everybody that was involved with the New Year's Eve party. Nicole did a tremendous job. To have 125 people there in the first year of celebrating, the new year in our new facility, I think was a tribute to all her hard work, everything she did. Those of you that weren't there, maybe you'll consider going next year. I heard everybody had a great time. So thanks to Nicole Evans, and much, much appreciated. That's all I have, Val.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We still have a bunch of openings on Keep Woodland Park Beautiful, and I can't remember if there's 5 or 6 or 4, but there's plenty. There's multiple openings, and we really love to get some new blood in there to stir up the trash. Thank you.
Kelly?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. With Carolyn's permission, since she's here, I would just like to share the success of the holiday home tour this year. We again have exceeded the money that we've made to give back to nonprofits in our community. We had about an even number of attendees and ticket sales, but we have made and netted a little over $11,000 this year that we'll be giving back to 4 nonprofits in our community. And I'd like to share who they are. And my partner in crime is in the back row, and another one over here. It's Community Cupboard of Woodland Park, Choices, the Focus on the Forest, and the Friends of Mueller State Park. All will be receiving those proceeds. And they'll be given away next week, or the week after, next weekend. Not this one, but the following weekend at Tweeds. We'll be presenting those proceeds to those nonprofits. So again, I'd like to thank publicly all of our sponsors, all of our volunteers, the steering committee, and all of the people that attended the home tour this year. We had great feedback. Most of them were in Woodland Park this year, and it was a nice mix and variety of venues, and just great. One of the venues that joined us this year was the Aspen. And if you didn't make it to that location, it was amazing and very creative, very beautiful, and the residents really enjoyed everyone coming. So it was a very huge success, as were all of the other events that day and that weekend, and just want to thank everyone for their contributions in making it so successful.
No, I just wanted to, would you reiterate the 3? I got the Community Cupboard and the Friends of Mueller, and I missed.
It's Choices. Community, help me.
Focus on the Forest.
Yeah, but it's the Community Cupboard of Woodland Park, Focus on the Forest, and Friends of Mueller State Park. I just lost it there for a minute.
I'm sorry.
The brain gets older every day.
Thank you.
You got it?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, thanks to Carolyn, certainly, and Kelly. And Carolyn, how long have you been doing this?
21 years.
21 years?
She's been involved in every single one of them.
So thank you all very much.
Absolutely.
Okay. Any more, Kelly?
That'll be enough for tonight, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Hillary.
I'd just like to thank everyone who stepped up to volunteer for their appointments to the boards that they're serving on. So it's great of you to do that public service, and we do really appreciate it. So that's all.
Thank you. Doc?
I just reiterate what Hillary just said. I think we have some tremendous expertise on a volunteer basis for all these various boards and committees, and it's really impressive. Makes you proud to be a resident of Woodland Park. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Doc. Cool.
I have some very exciting news. The first meeting of the DDA is next Tuesday at 7:30. Coffee and donuts in the back. You never know what's going to happen. There's always things going on with the DDA, so be there.
AM or PM?
That's AM, always AM. That's why we have coffee there. Unless you drink coffee at night. But it's going to be a good meeting, first of the year. There's some exciting things going on with the DDA. Be there. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, our city attorney is home ill. He's sent home by the mayor. I don't know if that's ever happened. Darren?
All right. I have a couple of items I'd like to discuss tonight as part of my report. First one is Charis Bible College is seeking a letter of support for student housing from City Council. And so I'd like to discuss that really quickly and seek consensus on that letter of support. The letter of support goes back to a 2012 PUD approval. I'll have to bring Sally up to discuss that briefly. That dictates that it would be a for-profit student housing under condition 14. If you can just talk about that real quick.
Sure, thank you. When Charis Bible College was approved for the planned unit development, business development, there were 14 total conditions, and the last condition, number 14, was that the student housing shall be a taxing entity, so a private development. And a couple weeks ago, we heard from Chris Cease that they have a grantor who is interested in helping fund the student housing and requested this letter of support. So I've drafted the letter, which is basically states that the city strongly supports the future student housing to be developed on campus, that there is a strong need for this housing, and have the city manager and the mayor sign the letter.
Thank you. Thank you. City Council, do you have any questions?
Do you have a copy of the letter, Sally?
I believe. Okay.
Two.
Hand it. Enough copies for all? Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr.
Any
Mayor.
questions?
Yes. Would it be possible to cut out that portion of the PUD and send it to the council? Cut it out, meaning.
You mean you'd like to see the verbiage
please, yes.
specifically? I'd be happy to do that. I can send you the whole letter of approval that
Sure.
has all 14.
Whatever's easiest for you. Thank you.
As well as what will help you is I also have maps of the PUD, so I'll get those in your hands this evening.
Thank you. And we do have a time constraint of Tuesday, I believe, and so Sally will send you that. And if we can get consensus today, and if anyone sees the materials and is not satisfied, then we can go through the process at that point. Do we have a consensus today? I'm just going to submit this letter, and you got it in front of you. I think everybody agrees that residential housing is drastically needed in our community. It'll free up a lot of inventory for others right here in the city, and it's just a win-win as long as, and I know this is everybody's concern, as long as they're going to be paying property tax. And so council and the mayor, whoever at the time, was wise enough to realize that, and then we finally come to that point. And so generating some property tax revenue for that piece of property is going to be it's going to be really important, and we've waited for it for a long time, so looking forward to that myself. Kelly?
Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to ask, and just to get on the record, that these PUD requirements would be applicable if they were to develop housing on the Sturman property as well?
Thank you. Great question.
The Sturman property is under a different PUD, and it does not have an allowance for student housing under the current Sturman PUD. So in order for, if Charis or Andrew Womack Ministries desired to build housing on the Sturman property for students, it would go through a PUD amendment for the Sturman PUD, and the Planning Commission reviews those amendments and holds public hearings, and I would assume that they would require the same condition.
And that would come before the council after the Planning Commission?
No, it would not.
Okay.
PUD amendments are handled only by the Planning Commission unless there is a change in dimensional standards.
Okay. Thank you, Sally.
I think everyone's concern, right, is that this is a for-profit project, and other than that, I think most would be thrilled to have that in our community. So is there any way, relative to the PUD, that they can get around that, in your opinion?
No, there is not.
Okay, good. That's what I wanted to hear. Okay, we have consensus, council?
Yes.
Okay, we can move on.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I want to highlight on January 12th, the city hall's hours will change. We'll begin opening at 7:30 in the morning. So if you need a permit or you need to come in and pay your water bill or meet with city staff earlier than 8 o'clock. We will, on January 12th, we'll begin opening at 7:30 and closing at 5. Friday is the exception. We'll be opening at 7:30 and closing at 4. And we'll make sure that this is published on the front of City Hall and social media so that everyone's aware. But I just wanted to make the note tonight. And last, I will defer the end of my report to Emily for the sales tax report.
Thank you, Darren. So included in your packet is the tax revenue update for taxes received in October. For sales incurred in October, taxes received in November. And month to date, you'll see we have almost 14% increase. Year to date, over 5.5% increase. And lodging tax, 2.2% increase. Thank you.
Music to everybody's ears. We've got to figure out a way to get the lodging tax revenues up because a lot of people we're missing out on a bunch, but we're working on that.
That's correct, we are.
Yeah.
So we're in a good spot. Thanks, Emily. That's great news.
Do you have one more?
Please.
Thank you, Mayor.
And last, thanks, Emily. I also wanted to have Suzanne talk about the upcoming election.
Thank you, Darren. As everyone knows, the election season has begun, and the first most important date I'd like for council to know of, and the audience and those listening at home, is the first date to pick up your petitions if you are running for council or mayor is January 7th, so that's this Tuesday. The petitions will be completed by Monday, and you can pick them up on Tuesday, the 7th, and you have until the 27th to circulate those petitions and return them back to the clerk's office for verification. At any time, if anyone has any questions about the process, we're here and we will answer any questions and help you along the way for that. And then there was just one other thing, two other things. The other thing regarding the election is I'd like to let Mayor and Council know we need election judges. So if you know anyone that's interested in making a couple of bucks and providing a good service, Darwin can attest to that. He was one of our election judges in the past. Let them know and let them contact me. We'll start advertising for that, and we need about 6 election judges. And we'll train them and all of that. The final thing that I would like to speak of tonight is I'd like to talk a little bit about Chrissy Reason in the back. We had some exciting news. We have 2 exciting things about Chrissy. The first is, as many of you know, Chrissy's been here for about 3 years and has been working and studying very hard, going to Clerk Institute, lots of different classes, and last week before Christmas break, she earned her Certified Municipal Clerk's designation. Excellent. I want to congratulate her and tell you a little bit about what this means. This is from our organization, which is called the IIMC, which is the International Institute of Municipal Clerks. And the Certified Municipal Clerk program is designed to enhance the job performance of the clerk in small and large municipalities across the globe. To earn the CMC designation, a municipal clerk must attend extensive education programs and also requires pertinent experience in a municipality. The CMC program prepares them to meet the challenges of the complex role of the municipal clerk by providing them with quality education in partnership with institutions of higher learning as well as local clerk associations. This program has been around since 1970, and currently throughout the nation there's 4,700 certified municipal clerks. So I would like to welcome Chrissy to the CMC world and congratulate Chrissy on that. That being said, the other exciting news, sad for the city of Woodland Park, but very exciting for Chrissy, is Chrissy has accepted a job offer for the city of Louisville, Colorado, and she's accepted that job, and her last day here at the city will be January 17th. She is moving. This is the first time that she's going to be living out of Woodland Park. And so she's moving across the way to Thornton? North Glen. Moving to North Glen, and she's just starting a whole brand new chapter in her life. So we are going to miss her, and I'd like to also congratulate her on receiving the job from Louisville. So congratulations, Chrissy. You'll see her at one more council meeting.
Suzanne, you didn't say, is it for the city clerk? That's her new job?
Deputy City Clerk.
Deputy City Clerk, great.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Chrissy. Congratulations, you put a lot of hard work in. Okay, anything else? Anybody? Anything else? Well, thank you all for being here. Happy New Year, and this meeting's adjourned.
8:02. Oh, God damn it. 8:02.